Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
How's life, everyone? Okay, so today is my turn to sharing a video that I have watched. So today I will share to you a study plan to go from intermediate to advanced in English. Well, why do I choose this topic? Because as we in our 5th semester, we're dealing with so many advanced words, aren't we?
Yes,
Yeah.
we are.
Yeah, like we have to read an academic text almost every day, like a scientific journal, international journal, or maybe TOEFL or IELTS test that use so many advanced words in it.
Yes.
So we're going to go through every section of language: reading, writing, listening, speaking, vocabulary, and grammar as well. And I will give you a list of things to do that you need to know in order to become advanced. So the first aspect that we're going to talk about is reading. When it comes to reading, there are several aspects that you need to be able to understand. Text from many genres, dealing with so many topics, dealing with a wide range of subjects, doesn't matter if you understand it or not. And I guess we have familiar with TOEFL test, right?
Yes.
And does it only contain or related to our subject, English education? No, yeah, it's no. Because the texts are involving so many subject themes, like they could, the text in TOEFL text, they could be discussing about mammals in the ocean or in the sea, and then the second text it could be discussing about economics, and then the third text it could be discussing about something that related to science. And then of course there are some terms that I didn't know before, but if you want to score the highest grade in the IELTS or TOEFL or any English test, you need to be able to understand text about anything, very complicated academic text. And then when it comes to listening, you need to be able to understand sarcastic sentences, understand idioms, understand which information that actually matters and which information that actually a secondary information. You need to learn how to pay attention to the right things and also be able to understand accents, idioms, dialects that is actually part of advanced listening. To practice it, you can use podcasts, because podcasts give such a great variety of accents and views. And of course, movies and TV shows also will definitely help you with listening. And then the third aspect that you need to be working on is, of course, writing. The writing has to be clear, well developed, well organized, and that means that every thought has its own paragraph. That means you have an introduction, body, and then conclusion. In order to make the text seems coherent and cohesive, of course you have to use linking words, such as in my opinion, however, furthermore, the speaker said that, the speaker stated that, the speaker mentioned that, and so on. Now, how can you challenge yourself with advanced writing? Something that the speaker here recommends is writing a review. The speaker here, as a YouTube creator, she writes a hotel review that she stayed in. Start with general thoughts. Overall, this experience has been one best so far. And then proceeding with the specific details, like first one, I really like the views. And then the the service was amazing, and so on. Next, we're talking about speaking. When it comes to speaking, you guys are actually lucky because you guys have AI these days, and you can totally talk with AI well. Other thing to practice speaking as a non-native speaker, try incorporating new words as soon as you can. If you start incorporating those words into your speech, there's more probability you're going to remember and use those words. Now, we're going to the fifth section, that is vocabulary. How to learn is just nothing except you learn those words. But there's actually a test that you can take. If you go to the lextutor.ca, it is a good website where you can test your vocabulary banks. You can check them out later. And now, what are the other characteristics of advanced English? Let's look at the example. The first sentence. I think it was in my second year in my university that I finally learned how to be a good student. And then the second text. I think it was in my second year of university that I finally got the hang of being a student. So the phrases got the hang here is advanced version of learned how to. And another example. Instead of saying, do you still want to play tennis for tonight? You can just say, are we still on for tonight? Still on. Yes. And then the last but not least is grammar. When you are an advanced English language, you know all the 16 tenses, but we are not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about those nuanced details, like inversion. You need to understand how to use it. Inversion in the word order is used to highlight our emotion. The action comes first, and then who or what does come second. For example, I have never been to Paris. Becomes the inverter, never I have been to Paris. So the second sentence is more emotional than the first sentence. And also at advanced level, you have to be familiar with mixed conditional. For example, if I had studied more, I would have a better job. It means that I didn't study hard, so now I don't have a good job. And then we have another bonuses from the speaker here. The bonus number one is called spoken grammar. For example, instead of saying, do you want some coffee? You can just say, want a coffee? Another example, are you ready yet? You can just say, ready yet? The bonus number two, class sentence, is about giving extra emphasize on something that you want to highlight in the sentence. Examples. Tila's car got broken into yesterday, didn't it? And then the answer, no, it was Hanum's car that broken into. So we're highlighting whose car was broken into. So yeah, that's the end of the sharing session. In a nutshell, what you need to start doing is immerse yourself into language as much as possible by watching shows, reading academically, listen to authentic English, write review reports, whatever speaking practice and receiving feedbacks on your speech, expand vocabulary, and master those grammar nuances. That's all from me. Thank you for listening. Do you have any questions? Ada question nggak?